welcome back to another Nerds Order Music interview. Today we're with the band Hazen. How are you all doing today?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Good.
Doing good, doing good. So let's get started, shall we?
Yeah. Super stoked.
Tell me a little bit about yourselves.
Start with you, Robbie.
Oh, us.
Individually or the band?
Yeah.
Both, individually and the band.
Okay.
Oh, well, my name's Robbie. I play bass and sing in Hazen, obviously. I just joined recently. I'm the newest member here. I'm super stoked. I've been in bands and playing music my entire life, so this is a new experience being in this genre of music. I predominantly played rock or like heavy metal, have been the only two, so this is like the perfect meeting of both worlds, and so far so good. That's me. Kayla.
Well, I'm the vocalist of Hazen. I've been doing this for what, 3-ish years?
Something like that.
It's really been like my only musical project. I love it. It's been a blast. Yeah, I don't know. What about you?
I'm Dylan. This is my second serious project. I'm a luthier by trade. I have a YouTube channel where I make guitars and stuff like that. It's just what I do for a living. And that's about it.
We're great
Dwight?
at this.
Well, now you
Yeah.
guys are making me sound like a band whore with how many bands I've been in. So I'm Dwight. I'm the drummer. I've been a musician my entire life. I come from a family full of musicians. Been playing live since I was 16, 27 now, and I've been touring on and off on a smaller band since I was 19. So joined Hazen about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. I don't remember. Something like that.
It all blurs.
Yeah. Joined Hazen about 2.5 years ago or so, and I mean, it's been a hell of a ride ever since. We're still working on it. But Dylan, do you want to kind of get into the band side of that as a whole?
Sure. Yeah. So started the band 3 years ago.
We don't remember anything.
2017,
That's right.
I think.
So 4 years ago.
4 years ago. So starting in 2017, we started recording a bunch of demos in-house and stuff like that, and immediately caught the attention of a local producer who just took all of our stuff to just be on the next level. And ever since then, it's just been a constant slave to the grind to keep releasing content to that quality.
So where did the band name come from?
So the band name is actually Kayla's last name, her actual last name.
It's her namesake.
Yeah,
It was their idea.
it was my idea.
Gotcha. All right, how would you guys describe the music you make?
I would say, I mean, being female fronted and having even more of a female powerhouse brought into the band, I would say that our genre that we like to say is we're in the alternative metal area. But I don't know, it's hard to describe because we have so many different influences coming from across the entire board that I think it's pretty unique in itself. I mean, when we try to think of like, oh, what would be great bands that we would tour with that we sound like and can name 50, and then you realize that not one of them is like a perfect fit. It's a weird dynamic. So I mean, it's like we said in our live, it's Hazen, right?
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different than your standard metal band, female fronted metal band. We just kind of like to float in and out of that every one of our influences when we write our music.
All right. What are some of your inspirations, like you mentioned earlier?
Go for it, girl.
Well, I have a few.
Mhm.
I grew up more listening to like pop music, so like Lady Gaga was a big influence on me, and then started listening to like Hailstorm, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I didn't know this thing existed. I when I did listen to rock, it was usually male fronted. I don't know why, other than like Paramore, I just didn't really listen to female fronted, and then someone introduced me to In This Moment, and that's when I was like, ooh, that's what I want to do. So they're a huge influence on me wanting to be in a metal band for sure.
Super artistic. I would say like now that we have this new dynamic, having me in the band now, there's like this cool like crossover subgenre of a subgenre happening right now where there's, you know, more harmonies and melodies, but I think that just comes from like, I like rock and roll and like Eagles, or, you know, when all of that stuff was, you know, performed live, and everyone in the band has, you know, this outrageous talent. So bringing that new dynamic into is super like exciting for me, I guess. But yeah, I would say me personally, like bringing this new like rock, and then I also make Dylan write heavier riffs too.
It's very true.
We want breakdowns when stuff opens back up and people to really go ham.
Yeah.
I just think all of our influences like is what makes us so creative.
Yeah.
And
It's
unique.
so vast across
Yeah,
the
it just
board.
opens
It's
up
very
so many
different.
ideas
Yeah.
that maybe I wouldn't have thought of, but she would, or you know, vice versa.
Yeah.
What about you, Dylan?
I grew up on psychedelic rock. You know, that was like my bread and butter. Pink Floyd, Moody Blues, Boston, all that kind of just that stuff. And you know, then switched over to like the really like butt rock from the 2000s. You know, POD and Linkin Park and Nickelback and all that kind of stuff. And then I ended up in the progressive metal kind of, you know, side of things. So I'm all across the board. Sometimes I just sit down and put on the Doom soundtrack and just zen.
It's amazing. It's a great soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think as far as my influences go, I, for some reason, tend to stick to musicians more than bands sometimes. So for me as a drummer, the Rev from Jimmy Sullivan from Avenged Sevenfold is my ultimate, will always be my ultimate idol. You will pretty much, in any project that I've ever been in that I've been a part of writing, you're going to hear something from one of their albums in it, guaranteed, because I play all the same type of fills, everything that I learned from his music, and you'll hear it at every show. If you're a fan of Avenged Sevenfold, you'll pick up on those little things.
I have actually. I have picked up on it. No, I love Avenged Sevenfold. I've definitely picked up on some of that.
Okay, but what's your favorite album though?
That is really hard because they have so many good ones.
See, now this is a tough question. This is a really tough question. I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, but I would like you to answer the question.
No, I know. I have to look it up because like I'm bad with names. So I have to like look it back up. My favorite one of all time had to be Nightmare.
Nightmare's pretty good. The one where Mike Portnoy came in and drubbed over it, which comes into my second idol, which is actually Mike Portnoy with Dream Theater. Dream Theater I like Dream Theater. It's pretty great, but Mike Portnoy is a drummer specifically. But then as far as musical influences, I grew up on 50s and 60s music from my parents and like old school country. And then when I finally blossomed into my own type of musician, it kind of expanded into things that you'll hear like on Lithium on Sirius XM, where it could be anything from REM to Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam's a big one for me.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Beck, any of those types of bands. I mean, just anything across the board from the 90s is where my true influences sit. But my favorite Avenged Sevenfold album is split between City of Evil and Backcountry.
That was a good one too. Backcountry is an amazing song. One of my favorites to this day.
The White Album, the self-titled one.
Yeah.
So many good songs on that.
Or no, it was Critical Acclaim. That's the
Is that
one.
what it was called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Critical Acclaim, which is an amazing album too.
It is. I listened to that one at least 15 times already.
I can play every song on there just because I wouldn't stop listening to it. And even if I can't physically play it, I at least know how it goes.
My next question is, what is the music writing process for you and your band?
I love this one. This is a Dylan
So
question.
it varies, but typically I'll come up with a guitar riff and I'll punch in the bass and drums on every section, rearrange it until I'm satisfied with it, and then I send it to the band. If they like the idea, they then put their own parts in, we'll chop it and rearrange it until we're all satisfied, and we put vocals on it.
And then we'll take it to the studio with our producer, who will then help us make it even better for each member. At least that's what's been so far.
Yeah.
Speaking of songs, what was the process and meaning behind My Fire?
It's all Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just like I was just like feeling feisty and fierce, and I just wanted to write a song basically telling the world you can't steal my fire, and that I'm a badass.
She a bad bitch.
It's great. I really love that one. Like when I heard the intro and everything else, I'm just like, yeah, I can see why Dakota loves this group.
I have to say that song live is one of our biggest ragers, just because even if the crowd's not like, we don't even know what the crowd looks like half the time when we play that song, because we're jamming so hard that we're trying to break the stage apart. That's one of our ragers for sure.
I always find it funny. Every time we play that song live, we usually get a different lighting guy at every show. And the lighting guys always have so much fun with that. When they hear the intro coming in, they're like, oh, okay, I see where this is going. Just strobes everywhere.
Awesome. Describe that to me. What's it like playing live?
For Hazen,
I miss it.
unfortunately, Robbie has only played with us live as a guest singer. She has joined with us a couple of times on stage, especially after our last tour, which was like 2 years ago. It's been a long time.
We have yet to play all together as a group because of COVID.
So I'm excited to see what the live dynamic is here with just the one change, because it was very electric before, and the practices are more electric than the live shows were for me before. So I'm excited to see what it's going to be, but I don't know. The live shows, it's just a matter of, for me, it's just us kind of up there jamming, and we really get into each other while we're playing. We feed off of each other like crazy, and then anything we get in the crowd, whether there's 2 people there screaming their heads off, or in the case of, we opened up for Godsmack in front of 29,000 people, and hearing that came back was just absolutely insane. So
I can imagine Godsmack is really fucking good.
yeah, that was a pretty good one. That was a life-changing one for sure.
I feel like I black out when I'm
Same,
on
that's
stage.
what-
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
vibe.
You almost don't remember half of the set sometimes.
Yeah, like what? I did what on stage? I jumped off? Like what?
Or sometimes you won't see what you did until the photos come back the next week, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, you realize.
don't remember
how far you
that.
were. Yeah.
It's
True.
It feels really good. We
We're
all
just-
miss it.
We're very into ourselves when we're playing.
That's great. Honestly, I mean, performing must be one hell of an adventure for you guys.
It has been with this
Yeah.
band for sure.
Absolutely.
What did you say?
Performing
Oh,
with this band
performing,
must be an
okay.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My next question is, well, how'd you guys find Dakota?
So I've been trying to submit us out to record labels, management companies, booking agencies since I joined in the band. Hello, dog. I had a list, an Excel spreadsheet of all the different companies that I would submit to, and I'd submit to over 63 different record labels every month, and 10 different booking agencies and 20 different management companies. I did that month after month after month. And so I was constantly searching through social media, trying to find any independent, small, big record label I could, because I just wanted to canvas everybody and just piss them off with all the Haze music I could. And then I ran across Devil Inside and just sent a submission. And it's really funny because when I sent the submission in, he emailed me back and he was like, I have qualms with Hazen joining my label. And I'm like, well, I don't understand what that means. Can you explain what these qualms are? And he's like, oh, wait, no. I said, I have no qualms. Do you want to join? Like, you got it. I'm like, okay.
The exact words to me were, I'm a mega fan of Hazen before I started my label, and I was psyched as hell when I saw that text. So like, actually, he was like, I was panicking, I was nervous, I was excited. Took me an hour to click my thoughts before I responded. And he said it was like a kid in a candy store on Christmas or some shit. Like he was ecstatic as hell.
He's very invested in what we're doing, and that's one of my favorite parts. Is even though Devil Inside is a very small record label, we've worked with some other people, professionals in the music industry, not labels, but we've worked with plenty of other people that we've actually had to pay a lot of money to, that we won't get even a quarter of what we get from Dakota on a daily basis. I mean, he's on top of pushing us in every aspect of his life. I know he worked in the hospitality industry through like the hotels and stuff like that. I mean, he was offering us free hotels for tour, and like he's doing everything that he could to work out stuff with his hotel and everywhere else, just pushing us everywhere. It's incredible. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
He's super invested. His comedy's also really good too.
We haven't had the chance to meet him in person yet. I'm excited to get that chance. So.
I've been meaning to as well. I'm all the way in Connecticut and he's in Pennsylvania. So, I mean, we're kind of close. Actually,
Well,
I've been running some ideas by him recently because you know how COVID ends, everyone's gonna want to go to music festivals again. So I was putting a lot of thought into an idea I recently had. I brought up with him, and we actually might be discussing it pretty soon about like you know his friend Patrick who owns that other label, right? He has a buddy who does the label with him. I was thinking combined label festival, like all of his bands and all of the DI bands at this big ass festival. I was thinking of that idea for like a month now. I'm just brought it up to him recently.
I'm all about it. I'm all about playing wherever somebody wants to hear Hazen. I don't care less whether that's a coffee bar or you know a huge outdoor venue or rock and reel. I don't care.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, if when it's after COVID, everyone's gonna be dying to go back to those festivals. So I mean, okay, no pun intended with that line I just said. I just realized what I said. No pun intended with that. Everyone's gonna be wanting to go back to those festivals, and it's like you're starting one up immediately right after, like when all the cases are dead and shit. Not what I meant. When everything is over.
This is recorded, right?
Yeah, don't worry, we got funny bloopers now. When the pandemic is like said and done and everything is fine again, everyone's gonna want to go back to festivals. And setting one up with a lot of newer bands would be good. Help them get more publicity and stuff like that.
Sure.
And I actually brought it up to him.
Festival.
We're actually doing a meeting on it on Tuesday.
Nice.
That's
Oh,
exciting.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I think that would be cool AF.
It would be.
Hazen's down as long as we can make a few stops on the way out to PA. I'm all about it. Or Connecticut. I don't care.
Or both, why not?
Or both.
Or both.
If I'm already out in PA, might as well hit Connecticut.
I like your style. I like your style.
Thank you. All right, my next question is, who would you guys love to collaborate with in stage and on studio? And you all have more than one answer. Go for it.
Ooh. Ooh. Like
Someone go first.
I would, me personally, I would like to do like this. I don't specifically. I mean, I think Maria Brink would be awesome. Like having her as like another vocalist on our stuff. But you know, in this moment in general, but kind of like what they did on their last album. They had Lizzie Hale, Taylor Momsen, and obviously Maria Brink. I think it would be cool to do like a big like piece with all these powerful badass women.
That'd be fun.
For me, I think that would be like iconic moment.
Yeah, no, that would be incredible.
I think that's something that I personally have been dreaming about for like ever. I think that's why me and Kayla became friends in the first place. I was like, who are you? I love you. So yeah, I mean, for me personally, just like something like that. I mean, that's the dream, to have those women specifically, or even just be in the same room as those women and be able to play music together would be a dream, but being able to collab together with just powerhouse women.
Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely. What about you guys?
Miles Kennedy.
That would be a good one. I was thinking LaJohn Witherspoon from Seven Dust.
Yes.
record
Yes. Any of those guys from either one of those bands. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever dug deeper into, you know, Eddie Vedder, his music and who he is and what he's about and everything, but that guy has such a creative and unique writing style behind everything. Just collaborating with him to write a song, whether he's on it or not, you know, that's another big one for me. Again, we're going back to the 90s stuff, but Eddie Vedder's a big one that I would choose too.
Also, a big producer I would want to work with is Andrew Wade. I just saw he puts out really quality but heavy music, man, just super heavy. He's a great producer. Everything sounds large, very large, and so he's definitely a dream for me to work with, and that's very, very in our grasp.
Who has he recorded?
I mean, he works with bands like Attila. I know my friend Jake was out there, and the lead singer of A Day to Remember was just hanging out.
Well, he used to do the Ghost Inside stuff too, right?
Do the Ghost Inside. He does heavy work.
Nice.
Attila, they're so good.
Oh, these two,
don't get
I saw them live at Warped Tour back in like I think 2016 or some shit. Party with the Devil. Oh my god, I was headbanging like a motherfucker.
I've seen them so many times I can't even count.
I
love
literally
them.
almost break my neck every time I see them.
That's funny because the first person that came to my head when you asked that question was like, I want Franz on a record, man.
Oh yeah,
Give me
Franz
some
would
rap
be so
screaming.
tight.
I know, make my songs real dirty, you know.
Oh goodness, this is fun.
I agree.
All right, let's see. My next question is, what is the best piece of advice you were ever given when entering music?
That's tough.
That is tough. I wouldn't say that I haven't opened the door for it or haven't put myself in that way, but I haven't really gotten much in the way of advice from anybody who's successful or really fallen on their ass other than don't stop playing.
Yeah.
My dad's a musician and has been his whole life. He was the one who got me started playing music. And got me started on everything that I listened to, but his big thing was always just to 100% be yourself. Like fuck the genre, fuck the, what society says your standards have to be. Just do what you love because you were meant to do it. So that's something. Every time I write a song or I'm singing or I'm playing or I'm learning something, obviously as artists, we're always going to feel like we're never good enough, but that always is in the back of my head for me personally, like, just do it. It doesn't matter. Like, this is what you want to do. So just do it. So that's me, I guess.
10,000 hours.
Yeah.
It takes 10,000 hours to make
Yeah.
something before you're actually good at something. I believe in that.
And honestly, like, especially ever since she's joined the band, she's always pushing me. If I'm always like, if I'm feeling insecure or like this sucks or I can't write, like I'm just having writer's block. So she's reminding me that we're bad bitches.
Yeah. We're born to
And
do
that we
this.
got this
Yeah.
and to believe in ourselves. And that's helped for sure. I love her.
Stop.
Best advice I ever got was I was told to give up playing guitar because I suck.
That's a great piece of
The best advice you
It's
never
sick.
took.
16 years later, and I'm still telling that guy to fuck himself in my dreams.
I love
I mean, look at you now. It paid off.
yeah.
I didn't listen to the advice, and look where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
Stop singing,
for
stop playing.
all the people that tell you like, oh, this is a pipe dream, you're not going to make it, you need to be serious about what your life is looking like. And even if, and I know so many musicians can relate to this, but not taking that advice because I don't want to be ordinary, I don't want to be stuck somewhere that I'm not happy. And people who have careers in the most boring jobs to me in the world, if they're happy, I mean, they're making it, they're doing it.
Yeah.
So to me, not listening to that advice is, so yeah, as far as advice, the best advice is the worst advice that people try to give sometimes.
You guys are such dads. I love it. You guys are such dads.
I love it. That's really good, actually, because I know that feeling. Like, I'm always going to try to do my own thing, and everyone keeps saying, you're wasting your time with this. It's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Even if it doesn't work, you had fun doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What does it matter at that point?
You never have to guess or, look back and say, what if,
Yeah.
Well, and I don't want to be the guy who had the dream at like 16 to do all these big things, and then by the time I hit 50, sit there and say, well, I didn't do it, or I didn't
I
try.
didn't try.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the biggest regret moving on through later years in life, is to say that at least I tried,
Yeah. You got to enjoy life. Even if it means it's going to end up being fucked up in the end, like, you got to at least enjoy yourself.
Yeah,
Sure.
agreed.
All right. Let's see. My final question of the evening is, well, it's evening for me. What is next for Hazen? What is the future for the band?
Yeah.
Woo.
There's a lot of answers to this question. Whether or not we're allowed to tell you some of them, I do not know. But
Go for it.
Dylan is working on some cool stuff that I'd like for him to kind of get into a little bit. And then I'd like the girls to talk about what they're doing too, because that's all new for Hazen.
Yeah. Working on some new music, doing a lot of stuff in-house, just kind of trying to reinvent ourselves and our sound, do something new, something different,
COVID
something
safe.
interesting, taking advantage of COVID and everything to just kind of huddle inside and write. And create a whole new stage, just entertainment,
Everything
about
everything to change.
lights, movements, outfits, everything. Just revamp the whole
The
whole thing.
choreography of having a show
Yeah.
in general is changing for Hazen.
For sure. And with the music and stuff, we have a song in the works, hopefully sooner than later, that will be out into the world soon. So
Yeah.
new songs, new music, new look, new everything.
New logo, yeah.
New
We're just trying
logo,
to
yeah.
revamp ourselves, really, go back into it 1,000,000%.
For sure.
Yeah, there's a lot next for Hazen, and I just like leaving people on the edge and just saying, "You'll see, you will see," because
I
we
know.
will make sure that
It's coming.
we will kill ourselves trying to make sure everybody can at least see that we're doing something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited as hell to hear that. I can see why Dakota raves about you all the time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you for having us.
Of course, it was a pleasure. I enjoyed this a lot too. I love doing these. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, I get a text from Dakota. Him work with Hazen. I'm like, okay. I mean, you don't have to ask me twice, but damn. Like he was so enthusiastic about it. I've never seen him so enthusiastic.
Well, I mean, we first communicated after that live broadcast that we did on our social medias a couple of weeks ago. And
Yeah.
it was almost like by the time we hit the end button on the lives, I already had a 3-way chat on Facebook with you, Dakota, about this today. And it's like, all right, I like it because again, he moves, he works for you. So
Yep. He found me on Facebook as well. I was working with groups before this, and like I work with sepsis as of recent. They told me post what you do on our page. I'm like, okay, I do. I was expecting like 1 or 2 bands to respond. Instead, 10 of them came up to me and then Dakota. So I'm just like, oh shit.
Nice.
nice.
I mean, I'm loving it. Don't get me wrong. I just wasn't expecting that big of a turnout.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, everybody's hungry to just do band shit. So
Yeah.
now's the best time.
I
Anything.
mean, yeah. Well, especially time I get thanks to not thanks to, but because of COVID, I have a lot more time to kill. So it's like I hate just sitting around doing nothing.
You know, I gotta say, COVID was a really good reset for Hazen. It wasn't fun by any means. It's still not fun, but I'd like to say that we were pretty productive with it, and we're keeping on that same track. So
Yeah, definitely stay productive. It's gonna do really good as well in the outcome.
for sure.
All right, I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. Everything was answered, and I loved what went down. Hi, doggy. I just see a little dog in the back.
This is Delilah. Delilah just went through surgery last week, so
We're keeping her
Yeah.
close.
Definitely a good idea. Yeah, I have cats. I had like 1 or 2 interviews upstairs in my room instead of down here, and the cat almost closed the computer. I'm over here like, no.
They're really
Yeah,
good.
I have 2 little kittens, and they're very energetic.
Good luck.
Well, I need it because they're over here waking me up at 3 a.m.
Oh, all right. Well, good.
They're the devil, I swear.
I
I mean, hey, help me out once because I actually had to work with a group from Australia, and they woke me up before my alarm went off. So I'm like, okay, I can get ready for this. But do they not put me off to a new day? I'm like, for fuck's
No.
sake.
You need alarm clocks, man. Just get pigs.
No, I have.
That's amazing.
Every day, 4 o'clock. I'm up. Hello. Hello, world.
Was that the one, the profile picture you had? The pig?
Well, I mean, I have 103 of them, so
Damn.
yeah. And
It's
2
a
cows.
Yeah,
rescue.
he's not
Better
afraid.
They're
to
my
use it.
babies.
Mm.
They're my babies.
Oh.
That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Thank you guys
All right.
for everything. This has been amazing.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank you
man. I
again.
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Of course, it's been an honor. This has been another Nerds Order Music interview, and our guests today was the band Hazen. All of you have a great evening.
Thanks.
Thank
You
you
too.
Yeah.
Hello,